everyone, I'm Perry.
And I'm Sia.
And today we're going to be reviewing the movie Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is a film made in 1994, directed by Robert Zemeckis and starring Tom Hanks. The movie follows the life of a man with a low IQ who unwillingly influences several historical events.
Yeah, so Forrest Gump unfolds the remarkable life of a man named Forrest Gump, whose simple perspective on life guides him through a series of iconic moments in American history and daily lives. Despite facing intellectual challenges, Forrest independently becomes a part of significant events, including football games, military service in Vietnam, success on shrimp boat, and others. His genuine kindness and honesty, and also profound connections that he forms with other people, especially with Bova and Jenny, creates a heartwarming narrative that explores resilience, love, and profound impact on ordinary person.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk the theme of the movie. Do you want to start off?
Yeah, of course. So I have one main theme that's destiny and fate.
Right.
And I feel like the movie shows this very clearly to Forrest Gump's character.
Exactly.
His life, shows a series of events that seem beyond his control.
Yeah.
And that partially comes from his innocence and simplicity as a person.
Right.
But also we can see that he kind of has he makes no decision that gets him involved.
That's true.
It's always the simple things. Like even we see him witnessing the Watergate incident during Nixon's presidency.
Right.
Which is I think it shows that he was destined to do this.
Yeah.
And we also see his mom commenting on things like destiny.
Yeah.
And his journey intertwining with certain historical moments also I think suggests the fact that he has a predetermined path.
Yeah.
And I think there's a feather in the movie that at the beginning of it, when Forrest is a child, it kind of we see it, and then again when Forrest is an adult and it's with his kid, the feather falls off the book.
Yeah.
And that to me symbolizes the fact that he can easily go with the flow, and his simplicity in this complex world allows him to have a predetermined path. And also feel like his innocence in a way shields him from things that are going on in the world, allowing him to be totally free and navigate through life with a more genuine and open heart.
Yeah.
And I think overall the film suggests that innocence, despite the challenges that a person faces, can be a powerful force influencing those around Forrest in a profound way, and it can also help you in achieving your destiny.
Right. Okay, so was really great point, and one thing I want to quickly brush off is the unpredictability of life, and I feel like through Forrest we really see that. He shows the life's unpredictable journey and the impact of simplicity and kindness, like you mentioned. The film really affords us Forrest, with his limited intellectual, unintentionally becomes part of major historical events. Not only that, but also the football game. Just the fact that he can run really fast, that got him to it playing.
To college.
Right. So, like those events really illustrate the unexpected twist of life. And it really highlights the idea that even with the smallest actions or opinions can really create significant ripples. Through Forrest's enduring optimism and genuine goodness, the movie really celebrates the power of individual agency and the meaningful connections that shape our lives. Love and friendship, especially his bond with Jenny, and the unexpectability connections that he makes with other people really shape who he is in life, and it also creates a really big emotional resonance. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the directing style of the movie, and one thing I want to quickly talk about is the emotional empathy of the movie. So this movie appeals to the emotional empathy of Forrest to the audience and leads to the audience understanding and supporting Forrest's actions and opinions throughout the movie. And Forrest's disabilities and kindness, I feel like, is a key asset towards the emotional empathy. And in addition, the friendship between Forrest and Jenny brings a touching emotional depth to the story. However, with this reason specifically, Jenny's character is also criticized for many people for breaking Forrest's heart and leading him into confusion. But however, Jenny also deals with severe mental health, and those with wider perspective does resonate with Jenny's story too.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to talk about with the directing kind of relates to yours, and I feel like it is the reason that the movie creates such a big emotional empathy in the audience. And it's the narrative structure in the movie. So in Forrest Gump, it starts with Forrest sitting down and having like a flashback and talking to strangers about it. And I feel like from the get-go, this makes the audience feel so much empathy for Forrest. Because like we don't know what happened between him and Jenny at that point. We just see him talking to strangers about his life and telling them his hardships and what he went through. And I feel like to me that looks like, oh, he's such a lonely person that he doesn't have anyone, that he needs to talk to people at a bus stop. So immediately the audience has some sort of connection to Forrest. And later on, the storytelling approach adds depth to his character and also reflects his experiences and the time period really well. Another thing that I feel like adds a lot to the storytelling perspective and the narrative structure is the soundtracks of the movie. The movie has a lot of memorable soundtracks that are from various eras, which help enhance the experience for the audience and leave an emotional impact on them. Specifically, the soundtrack Forrest Gump Suit by Alan Silverstein contribute to the film's atmosphere, and I feel like it's such an iconic song for the movie, and it relates to it really well. Another thing is the costuming that really shows the visual timeline well for the audience. The costumes mirror the changes in societal norms and fashion over the decades.
That's true.
Which helps the audience see the progression of time really well. And also, there's one specific costume, which is the Forrest white suit that he wears at the bus stop. It becomes a symbol of his purity and innocence. Which is a good reflection of his character. But also we see that he goes to see Jenny in that suit.
I know.
Which kind of like helps us realize, oh, he's dressing up himself to go to Jenny. And I feel like it kind of makes the audience feel more protective of Forrest because of what we know of him as a person, and we know how innocent he is, and how much he cares about Jenny. So that was a really nice touch to that the director added to make the movie more.
For sure. Yeah, you made such a great point. I mean, all those elements are really like it's a very detailed element, right? Like if you don't focus on the movie, you will never really think about it. But all those things are what really makes the movie realistic and also really resonate with the audience. So yeah, I think those were really great points. Okay, let's talk about our favorite character of the movie. I chose Forrest Gump. He's the main character of the movie. He's a very innocent and naive character. One of the reasons why I love him so much is because of his unconditional love. No matter how many times Jenny leaves him, he continues to give love to her. His unconditional love also goes to his mom, who raised him without any difference, even with his disability. Because of his mom, he has grown into a young man who does not hesitate to help others around him. This can be seen in various scenes, but one that really surprised me the most is when he continued to save other soldiers during the Vietnam War, knowing really well that he might get hurt himself too. So his love and kindness has left me with valuable lesson in morality.
So the character that I want to talk about is Lieutenant Dan. And I feel like one of the things that make Lieutenant Dan such a good character is the relationship he forms with Forrest and the friendship and bond that they have. Throughout the movie, we see him going from this very mighty, respectable veteran soldier to being a disabled man who is now addicted to alcohol and doesn't have a purpose. And I feel like his friendship with Forrest kind of pushes him to find a purpose in life and tries to do more things and opens up his mind. And Forrest's simplicity and innocence, as you mentioned, kind of helps Lieutenant Dan with the mindset and helps get him out of his own little bubble where he feels like he's very miserable. And his resilience throughout everything that he went through makes his character so strong and so likable to the audience. And his character is also such a good symbol of what the aftermath of a war looks like.
That's true.
Because for Forrest, we don't really see how much the Vietnam War affected him. due to his particular personality.
Right.
But for Lieutenant Dan, we see truly how heartbreaking the war can be,
Right.
and how much people go through and how much damage gets done both physically and mentally.
Right.
So I feel like his character was a much needed person in the movie.
Right.
And his bond with Forrest was also one of my favorite things to watch in the movie.
Right, and I totally agree. Especially the contrast that we see in Lieutenant Dan after the war and before the war is very different. I feel like because when Forrest and Bubba first visits the service area, they see Dan looking this really cool, healthy. He's like, he knows everything around the service area. He's telling them like, oh, do this and do that, and you're gonna be fine. And after the war, we see him losing his legs, and it's a very physical difference, right? But not only that, like the way he views himself also changed, and I feel like Forrest is there to support him in those ways. So like you mentioned, their bond is really just incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, everyone, we're gonna finish up with our personal rating and opinion of the movie. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
I really love this movie. I would
Yeah.
give it a 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie that I had already watched when I was a kid, but
Right.
like I didn't remember much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And also watching it again helps me really see the characters in a new perspective
Right.
and understand their actions way better.
Yeah.
The directing was perfect. I love the little
Mhm.
details, and I just loved the characters so
Right.
much. From Lieutenant Dan to Bubba to Forrest Gump himself,
Mhm.
the icon.
Yeah.
So overall, yeah, it was a really good movie for me. What about you?
I also love this movie. I'm giving 5 out of 5. Although the movies usually criticized by the public due to the inaccurate ways of portraying history, I thought that really fit to the naive characteristic of Forrest Gump and led to overall effectiveness. So I really like that. Personally, this movie was one of the best movies I've ever watched and really resonated with me in various ways. The storytelling element has led to seamless transitions. I love Forrest Gump's character and will 100% watch this movie again. And I remember my mom talking about this movie. She was like, you should really watch this. Like, it's one of my favorite movies. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch it later. Like, maybe not now. And then I watched it in class. I was like, this is it. It's like so good. So
Yeah.
I think we both really enjoyed it, right?
I feel like the movie overall makes you feel better about yourself as a person too.
Right.
Both through when you see the characters struggle with who they are, and also seeing how Forrest just takes everything easy, is very simple and innocent, and he's able to have such a big accomplishment.
Yeah, and I just like, one thing I want to talk about is that like, I feel like I need him in my life, right? Like Forrest Gump is such a like good character that will be such a good friend to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I just loved it. So
Great.
great.
We'll be back with our final review of the movie 13 Days. So yeah, we'll see you soon.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye bye.